hopefully I've been able to convince you that you need a sewing machine in your life and you have gone ahead to get yourself a sewing machine. So now, what do you do? In this video, I am going to be sharing with you some tips that you can take with you for your alterations journey. Hello and you are welcome to my channel. My name is Patricia and I am a sewing and fashion enthusiast. And on this channel, I like to make and refashion both trendy and classic pieces to suit our style and lifestyle. If this is something that interests you, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button so you can join this growing family, and also make sure that you hit the like button as this helps the YouTube algorithm promote my videos to people like yourself. And also make sure that you hit the notification bell if you haven't done so that you don't miss any videos from me. With that said, let's get to the video. Alright, so my tip number one is to know your body. And I would like to think that most of us know our bodies. The reason why I say that you should get to know your body is because it will help you when you go out there to make purchases for clothes. Are you a pear-shaped person? Are you apple-shaped? Are you an hourglass? Are you square-shaped? Even with these categories, I believe there are still in-betweens, but you want to know your body type. So if you are a pear-shaped, for example, like I am a pear-shaped person, if I go out there to buy clothes, I am looking for clothes that will flatter my pear-shaped body. If I were to be an apple-shaped person, when I go out there looking for clothes to buy, I'm going to be looking for clothes that fit my apple-shaped body. When you know your body type, it's more like half of the problem solved. When you go into the store, you know what to look out for. You know the silhouettes to look out for. So you want to know your body first of all, and then to understand what looks good on you and what doesn't look good on you. And that will inform your purchases when you're out there looking for clothes to buy. So tip number two is to know your measurements. Now this is kind of tied into the first tip, which is to know your body. Knowing your measurements is also going to help you, especially when making purchases online. How many times have you gone online trying to make a purchase for clothes and confused about the size to buy? Especially with the companies having their different standard sizes, we tend to get confused sometimes, or I do get confused sometimes. But what helps me is the size chart. So when you know your measurements, it helps you identify where you fit. So if your hip says it's a 44, you know that you're going to be looking for a large, for example. And if your bust says 36, you know they're going to be looking for a medium, for example. If the company says that, or if the company's bust says 35.5, you know that, well, 35.5 is gearing towards, medium, so you can go for a medium. Or if it's 45, you know that, oh, well, I'm around 44, so I can get the 45 and I can make the necessary adjustments. So knowing your measurements is going to help you in knowing where you fit for the different companies that you shop from. Knowing your measurements will also help you identify your body type, right? If you're pear-shaped, you realize that you are wider in the hip area, and if you're apple-shaped, you realize that you are wider in your bust area. So these first 2 points is basically to help you in making a better choice of clothes in terms of sizes, so that you do not have to do too much work when it comes to altering your clothes. Now, the next few tips that I'm going to give you is more of the alterations part. Okay. So tip number 3. So now that you know your body type, you know your measurements, when you are making purchases for your clothes, you want to purchase clothes that fits the widest part of your body. Again, if you are pear-shaped, you want to make clothes that fit your hips, for example. And if you're apple-shaped, you want to make purchases for clothes that fit your bust area or your chest area, for example. When you make these purchases, there's going to be an excess, and you want to buy clothes that will allow you to have excess, because you can always take the excess in. But if you should buy something that fits the smallest part, then it means that you wouldn't have room to expand in the area that is the widest. So you want to buy clothes that fits the widest part of the body, and it will be much easier to take it in the area that is smaller. I always say that it is best to buy clothes that gives you that room to have excess. Also, this applies to length. So if you're buying pants, you want to buy pants that are long enough that you can cut, instead of buying pants that are short that you cannot do too much to. Because even though you can extend the hem or you can open up the hem, there's always going to be a line of demarcation that's going to show that this hem of these pants or trousers has been extended, and that is not a good look. My next point is to practice with old clothing. Now, I don't want you to get excited and start altering your new clothes that you just bought, or clothes that you know if something goes wrong with it, you're going to be really upset, please go ahead and take clothes that are old or clothes that you are not so emotionally attached to practice with, because if anything goes wrong, you will be okay to let it go. So practice with old clothes, or you can also visit the thrift store and buy clothes and use it as practice. With this, if something goes wrong, you're not going to be so hurt or upset that you mess things up. My next point is to practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. Like I've said, practice using old clothes or clothes that you get from the thrift store, and also focus on using clothes that are simple, like straight dresses, skirts, dress shirts, or shirt dresses. Things that are straightforward. Don't get too excited diving straight into altering complicated garments such as coats and blazers, all of that. You will get discouraged. Those ones are advanced. Practice using simple garments, and as you practice, you're going to get better, you're going to get more experience, you're going to learn from your mistakes, and once you've done that, you'll be more comfortable handling or tackling these other more complicated garments. You can now go ahead and get yourself the blazer, the denim, wedding gowns if you want to. You can go ahead to do all of that, but first of all, focus on simple garments. Okay? Now, this is just an observation that I've made whilst altering my own clothes. When making alterations, you'll be making a lot of wedge-like shapes. So for example, if your clothes fit, or your hip is the widest part of your body, so you buy your clothes to fit your hips, then it means that you have to adjust your bust area to fit you properly. So you're going to create a wedge shape from your armpit and you're going to sew or taper that to enter the existing seam. I don't want to get too detailed with my explanation. So either you're creating a wedge shape or tapering into an existing seam. It's the same that you'll be making for pants. So for example, you have pants that are wide legged, but you want to make it a bit more tapered, you're going to create that wedge shape. So bear that in mind. So with that said, we have come to the end of the video, and I hope that these tips will go a long way to help you in your alterations journey. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel and you have watched at this point, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, and also make sure that you hit the like button. It helps my channel grow. Share this video to whomever you think will benefit from this. As a matter of fact, I believe everybody will benefit from this. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye.